Welcome to Smart Means Business. I'm Andrew Barija. Very delighted that you're part of today's edition of Smart Means Business. We definitely driving through all the way up to 9:45 a.m. And there is quite very amazing stories that are really happening all across the globe, and of course the East African region and also the African continent at the same time. But we're going to be dissecting all those stories down, and of course the big picture is that how does Uganda really position itself to benefit from the opportunities that are being presented by the global community into that line? And of course, through that, we shall be taking a look at one of the major key issues that has actually been down, and that is in line with Algeria finding a lot of issues when it comes to obtaining that is Uganda's milk. So there is quite so much more all related to that. And well, before we proceed into that, like as we do every other day, let's take a look at what's really making headlines within the local press. Well, I do have the New Vision and the Daily Monitor. And taking a look at the Daily Monitor, first of all, there is something here. This is in line with DAD. And of course, there is a big question here about, are you eating your way to the grave? So how do you eat? That's quite very amazing. We always don't really mind about that, but it's a very important aspect. And of course, when it comes to thinking the right way, thinking healthy, making the best decisions also is accompanied when it comes to what kind of food do you actually really eat to that way. And so that is what is really making headlines in here. And now, of course, as we proceed along, the cost of digital car plates, that is to handicap the passengers. Now, fitting the digital number plates is being done in two categories, including the no entrance and replacing the old ones. Now, the first category has the privilege to entering the country. That is with a vehicle fitted with a digital registration plate. That is along with the logbook in hand. So that is something we also looking into. And further details in relation to the eating habits. How do you really eat? How do you fit? Do you really take time to understand how exactly that can affect you in the longer run, whereby you find yourself actually in a position where you're paying quite a lot of money when it comes to healthcare. So that is something to also really take into great consideration that way. Now, of course, still into the national news, we take a look at assessing Senyonyi's first year as leader of opposition. So there is a lot of aspects. While, of course, he has been vocal, also especially when it comes to human rights violations and accountability. His leadership, some analysts say, has actually failed. That is to unite the opposition members of parliament. So how is that really a reality? Because the public seems to be really perceiving something different when it comes to his activities and how he's actually been vocal. And you remember even when he was actually in Kosase, he was actually very instrumental when it comes to accountability at all aspects. So that is something you can find yourself to get the further details as you grab yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor. Now, the fuel prices have gone up, says the government. Recently, the government was actually telling the passengers regarding the fees, during Christmas time. And actually, the government was telling the people within the transport sector, why should they actually really increase the prices, yet the fuel prices are going down. Now, this very government now says that the fuel prices have actually gone up. Says government, of course. What are the reasons why this has actually happened? You could be wondering. Well, further details are definitely entailed into the tabloid. Okay, now still proceeding, the government picks contractor, that is for Kalungu Gomba Bridge, and there is further details still entailed into that. And the traders hail NMG for the platform to air the views. Of course, they say that the group played a critical role in ensuring tax officials they do listen to concerns of the traders during a nationwide strike. That was regarding the matters of it fresh. So all that has actually been put in there. And of course, Chivumbi replaces Mpuga as deputy president for Buganda region. There is still further aspects into that. You'll grab yourself a copy. And Uganda Airlines cuts loss by 87 billion, that is Ugandan shillings. And according to the report, about 26.5%, the margin of Uganda Airlines loss reduced by 26.5% in the financial year ended, that is June 2024. Now, of course, tackling also further details about tackling the HIV and hypertension burden, that is in Uganda. Now, according to the Ministry of Health, living with HIV face a higher, individuals living with HIV face a higher risk of suffering from hypertension. That is due to a combination of factors, that is including antiretroviral therapy side effects. So there is a lot of important information to really find into that. And of course, video news still holds a sway. This is when it comes to the opinion section here in the Daily Monitor. Somebody actually here says that to the Economist, is actually sending a regards to the Economist, saying that keep your capitalist revolution. So find out why he says so and why he believes that. And of course, the letter of the day today is the NRM Liberation Day. And of course, the question is, will Mubende finally reap the rewards of its revolutionary role? That's a big question in there to really find some answers to. And now proceeding along, I do have here into the scoop, of course, we'll take a look at Apollo here, who eyes the global stage. And of course, he's a musician, a singer, songwriter, entrepreneur, and of course, a philanthropist. Best in the United States. Among his targets is actually to see that Uganda music can cut across the borders. So that is quite a great vision, I'll say, in that regard. And manager, of course, Roger's last assignment has all been into here, of course, when it comes to the music business. And yeah, of course, also the style bit of it, turn your style with the chocolate brown. So there is a lot that has been, of course, said about that. And now for the movie fans, Carry On is actually among the top movies that are actually trending. I know it's not the entertainment segment, but it's one of the best movies I've actually watched so far. There is quite a very huge storyline, you know, talking about countries that have what we call defense threatened democracies, you know. So there is a lot of something very interesting. Carry On, and I'm so excited because I'm seeing this right here. So it could be something to really check it out for. And in most cases, I believe if I endorse a movie, really, it's worthy checking out. I trust myself when it comes to that. Okay, now proceeding along, vendors count losses after the fire guts Wikwe market. 500 have actually 500, that's the number of the vendors that have actually been affected as a result of that. And of course, Ignatius Musazi family still, the investors fight over a ranch. The family claims it has actually owned the land since 1973, while the investor claims the government gave them a lease. So there is a lot of controversy that is surrounded this particular case. And now from the world side, Gaza ceasefire may stop the killing but won't end the conflict. That is according to what the airlines say here. Now, until the ceasefire does come into effect, the war that started when Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th, 2023, definitely goes on as a result of that. Yeah, and of course, there are lots of people that are actually having quite emotional decisions when it comes to what side. People are confused. And in most cases, what I can say is that it's just about the propaganda. But when you get down line to really get to understand what really this conflict is about, you will actually be shocked by the results that you'll actually get to come up with. You know, Israel looking innocent, definitely before the entire world. But there is quite a lot of conspiracies that come into that. So There is further details. Of course, 15 months length of war. That is what is happening. And now Tanzania also denies suspected Marburg outbreak after the World Health Organization alert. So Tanzania has come out to deny that. And now, when it comes to the job side, somebody here said that they believe in participatory leadership as one of the ways to actually be effective. You participate into the activities that you encourage your followers to actually take into. If you don't do that, then it's quite something very hard for you to influence them, to inspire them in all sorts of ways. All right. And of course, staying true and focused helps you build a legacy. Yeah. Somebody still says that when it comes to the jobs and career, something to really pick onto that. Well, proceeding along, of course, from the sports sides, Maroons on alert. That is after the Minos exposed the Uganda Revenue Authority frailties. So there is a lot of details when you grab yourself a copy. And the motorsport fans have actually been urged to embrace electric vehicles by all means. And now the unmistakable role of rally cars has actually already been a part of the sports allure. But the rise of electric vehicles herald a new chapter. That is where Uganda's rally fans must actually prepare for the quiet revolution and electrifying possibilities it actually brings. So that is it in line with the Daily Monitor. And now let me switch to the New Vision. Now, of course, the 5 EC bosses suspended. The names have actually been listed right here on the top page of the New Vision. And of course, damning dossier, the president implicates officials in a gross mismanagement. That is according to the report. And now Uganda, United Arab Emirates sign memorandums of understandings. Like I told you, it's on record as we speak at this particular time that the United Arab Emirates has actually exited the United States of America and China when it comes to investments in East Africa. Now, as it is happening here with Uganda and the United Arab Emirates, also in our Caribbean East African story, we shall be having something similar to that. So we shall be very expectant to that. How different are these investments going to be as compared to the former, big heads, that is the United States and China, who seem to be losing hand in East Africa. And now the Parish Development Model Fund Stolen says the EDGE report now over 896 million Ugandan shillings. That's according to what the report says. And of course, the beat here says when the world of Rotary came to Uganda. So there is a lot to also look into that as you grab yourself. Now, proceeding along with the New Vision, Minister Balaam intervenes in Masindi sugarcane saga. Now, the ban was actually lifted just hour days after the trade minister ordered, the closure of the way bridges, halting operations for sugarcane growers. That is in Bunyoro region for that case. And now, of course, tricks used to steal the PDM cash have actually been exposed. As of course, according to the report of the parish development requires immediate reform. That is to address these challenges. There ought to be reforms, most especially when it comes to the monitoring and evaluation. That is very key. Now, according to the 2023-2024 audit, the report revealed that duplicating the national identification numbers is actually one of the tricks used in stealing the parish development model cash. That is according to what some experts have actually discovered for that. So proceeding along still in the national news, why government took over the SGs, vehicle inspection facilities. There is details in relation to that. Of course, General Katumba commended the SGs for their cooperation. Now, of course, to read between the lines, Karushabe emphasized that this rise in vehicles with dangerous mechanical conditions underscores what we call a critical need for the vehicle inspections that is aligning with the Global Road Safety Action Plans. So that is what is included there. And then President Museveni concludes that his working visit to the United Arab Emirates. There is a lot that was actually really discussed, as we have seen the memorandums of understanding were actually signed between Uganda and the United Arab Emirates. So that is quite a very, that is quite amazing. Now, during this visit, Museveni engaged in numerous activities, that is including witnessing the signing of two memoranda of understanding between the government and between the government of Uganda and the United Arab Emirates at the same time. So we hope all that is actually quite pretty productive. And then Alupo tips cultural leaders on early pregnancies and school dropouts. There is a lot, that is the vice president came out to really put that. And of course, further details regarding the EC secretary and 4 other senior officials who have been suspended due to various reasons. About 864 million Ugandan shillings was sent to the regional offices, was allegedly returned. That is to the senders at the EC headquarters. That is according to the reports there. And now, don't be like Mpuga. Bobby Wine tells Chivombe here. That is the new boss accused Mpuga of splitting the party. So there is a lot there. And still Mpuga pushes for equal treatment of presidential candidates. Further details are still until as you grab yourself a copy of the new vision. And then Wobos reported a graduate unemployment rate of about 15.2% in 2023. So what does that really mean? Limited jobs, worry the parents. And now when you read between the lines, you see that graduate unemployment in Uganda is actually a significant issue, with some estimates putting the rate as high as 80%. Now that is quite big. However, the Ugandan Bureau of Statistics reported that the graduate unemployment rate is actually at 15.2% in 2023. So what is it going to be like for 2024? But then I think that poses a question as to ponder on, is that how best are we going to leverage on the new technologies? Because taking a look at technology, it actually has the possibility to transform this country, most especially when it comes to the livelihoods of the young people. How do you participate into this sector? Because it's quite virgin, and Africa is quite a very, it's a fertile space, for people to really participate in, because we can't think the same way in the traditional kind of a style of doing things, thinking of a white collar job after university. It can't work out in this era, because even the people that are into the jobs don't want to leave this job. So what are we going to do about that? That is the big question. So more innovation. And actually yesterday night, I was thinking about this very aspect, and I saw something so amazing. I feel like one of the ways the youth can actually create employment for themselves is through incorporating financial markets with technology. Participation into that can actually help to bridge the gap in that way. Think about it for that. Well, I guess time is not really on my side, just about exactly 30 minutes past 7. Well, let's go for the break, and when I return, we shall definitely take a look at what is happening into the international space and across East Africa. Stick around.